let us learn to create an instance. While doing that, side by side, we'll also um, learn the EC2 terminology. So I'm going to click on launch instance, which is going to help us create a new instance. So here we must make sure we are in the correct region. So it is US East 1 AMI, that is the Amazon machine image, which is going to give me the operating system, the server, and the applications for the instance. So I'm going to select Windows here. It will automatically give the Amazon machine images available. I'm going to select here Microsoft Windows Server 2022. So you can see for 2025 it is the 3 micro, but when I change to 2022 it will automatically change to T2 micro. Now we have to create a new key pair. The key pair will always be .pem format, as we are going to see in some time. So the key pair type will be RSA and .pem. You can click on create new pair, but already I have created, so I'm going to select my already created key pair. And now you have to click on edit network settings and click on create security group, and you have to make sure the RDPS is always 0000/0. Since I have already created that, I'm going to click on select existing group and select from the drop down which I have created already. And the default configuration storage is always 30. Make sure the number of instances is 0 and you can click on launch instance. Now I have already created an instance. You can see that it is initializing. It is in running state. You can see the T2 micro. It is in the US East 1 region, and you can see the security group name, key name that we have given. The platform is Windows, and you can see that the status check is initializing. This must be 2 by 2. So I'm going to refresh it again to see if the status check is 2 by 2. Now you can see the status check is 2 by 2 passed. We'll see in some time what those 2 by 2 status checks passed means, which means the system is working and running fine, the instance is working fine, and we are good to go. We can connect. So now we have to click on connect. We are going to connect to the instance from our RDP. So click on RDP client. You can see the public DNS here, okay, and the username is administrator. You can click on get password. Right now it is going to give you a upload private key file. You're going to select it because I already have a key file here. Okay, I have the .pem format key file here. I'm clicking on open, then decrypt password. You have the decrypted password here, right? So now I'm going to select the public DNS copy. I'm going to put it on the RDP, and the username will be administrator. And click on connect. Asking for the password. Copy this password. Enter the password here. You can click on OK. Click on yes. You are getting connected to your VM there. You can see that the VM is getting set up. Yes. So here the VM is set up. You can see. Right. Now we are going to disconnect the session. Go back to the instance. Sorry. We are going to terminate, delete the instance, which means we are cleaning up the setup that we did here. So we have some states here. You can take a look here, which are all available right now. Because we have already started the instance, there is no start instance or hibernate instance. We only have stop instance because it is running. We have reboot, we can delete. Only these three are available. We can click on terminate. Successfully initiated termination. Now you can see the instance state shutting down. Okay, now let's see the EC2 terminologies. So what is EC2? It is a elastic compute cloud, which is used to create a resizable compute capacity. So on the AWS, this EC2 is providing us an infrastructure, which is why it is an infrastructure as a service. It is giving us the infrastructure, the virtual machine, the compute capacity, the storage, and it is also allowing us to manage the virtual machine on the AWS. So the terminologies that we saw when we were creating the instances, Amazon Machine Image, AMI, it gave us the software. We chose Microsoft Windows OS, right? So that is the AMI. And we used a security group. We chose create new security group. So it is like a firewall for the virtual machine. So we are creating a security rules for our virtual machine. So there are two rules associated with the security group, that is inbound and outbound. This are self-explanatory. You can say inbound controls what type of traffic comes into the virtual machine. This port is usually 80. The outbound controls the traffic out of the virtual machine. And there are various instance types which we'll see detailed in the next video. The instance type, what we are going to give the instance capacity, the type of virtual machine, which will have the OS, CPU, and the memory. It all defines the type of instance. By default, the memory of the instance was 30 GB. That was allotted free of cost. We saw it was 30 GB. And the memory cannot be reduced below 30 GB. Now the key pair. The key pair is like a lock and key for an instance. So the private key is downloaded into our PC. So when we click on create a new key pair, it was giving us the .pem key. So when we click on create, it will be downloaded to our private PC. So that must be saved in order for us to access that particular instance in the AWS. Now the instance states that we saw, the instance is going through following states only. It will be in the creation state, it will be pending, then it will be running. So when we are stopping, it will be stopping, then stopped. Then when we terminated, it went to shutting down, then terminated. The status check on instance on a very basic level, it is usually only 2 by 2. When launched successfully, it will be 2 by 2. So it should not be 0 by 2 or 1 by 2. The which means the 2 by 2 means out of the two, one will be the system status check, that is the hardware everything is right, and the second status check is for the instance, if the software and the configuration whatever we gave, the networking, everything is coming back right. So which means the communication is right and the instance has been successfully launched. That's what we saw. And we also terminated the instance. So when we terminated, it was shutting down, then it went to terminated. Now scaling an instance. Scaling means increasing the storage space of an instance. We can do it in two ways. It will be either vertical scaling or horizontal scaling. So vertical scaling means done within an instance internally. Hence, it is very simple and quick because you're not making any changes to the instance configuration, or you're not going to create any new instance. So it's not going to take much of time. It's going to be simple and quick. You're going to just change the storage capacity, increase the storage capacity. But it is not widely used because when you're going to do the scaling, it requires a minimal amount of downtime, and it cannot be scaled beyond a capacity. If an instance has a maximum capacity, if it has already reached a capacity, you cannot scale beyond it. But still, if you want more storage capacity, can you do it? No. So it cannot be scaled beyond that capacity. And if one system fails, the whole setup fails. So you only have one point of contact to that instance, and if that fails, the whole setup fails. That is the biggest disadvantage here. So in that case, people go for horizontal scaling, which is done externally, which means among instances. Like you might have one or two or three instances, for example, and you're creating extra instances for extra storage, and you're going to have your data shared among the instances. So when you're going to increase the storage for that particular setup, it does not require a downtime, because you're going to create new instances for the storage purposes. And since you're creating a new instance, it has one advantage that the new instance can be of different type. It can be configured according to the need. And if a failure occurs, it does not affect the whole setup, because there will be other instances as well which will be as a backup, and it will be running. There is another way which is widely used, which is called an auto scaling, which actually balances according to the load. If needed, it will do a vertical scaling. If needed, it will do a horizontal scaling. So the auto scaling, it scales according to the load. So that's all for this video. Thank you.